It's Sunday, January 1st, 2023. It is New Year's Day. There's where I am. I spent New Year's Eve 2022 into 2023 in front of the double mirror in New York in the residence. I stayed up until the ball dropped, and then I retired for the evening. Um, I woke up and went to church. I was ready for morning ceremony, and I then went for exercise down the Joe Michael's Mile down to Fort Totten. I then uh, did one of these on the camera, turned around and came back. I'll upload the Fitbit data to my whatever, just the synopsis of the fact that I was there. Um, on my way back, however, I saw this. I've stayed out of the papers, but I saw this on my way home. Web of Lies, and it says Bayside Times. Doesn't have me, it has someone else. Um, but the headline caught my attention, so I'll go through that. This is the free publication local, um, and it was in my path. I thought it might be important, so I keep an eye on that. Um, but as far as um, where one spends one's New Year's Eve, I mean, that sounds like a corporate securities and loss question, series of questions between where your primary residence tax return is, where you spend New Year's, and if there's anything else off of that. I mean, really easy to tell now that there's, for the whatever, a two-way mirror system. So I thought that was really simple. And then again, I showed up. I took a photo at the altar. I uploaded it to the FB. So there was no questions as to my whereabouts on whatever. Um, Not that I think that anybody would care, but here we are at, there's like a whole lot of signs coming from the television, um, of bits and pieces in Avatar world, um, of a broken matrix, and it's causing some alarms at my own. This morning, I was watching before I went to ceremony or sermon. I don't know what they call it. Service, I think they call it, at the local church. I was watching um, Joel Olstein came on, Charles Stanley came on. I was flipping the channels. I listen with an open heart to some of their stuff. I listened to Robert Saleh. He's the Jets coach, very small. He had like one quote in the beginning of the show. I taped it. I'll do a thing on it, along with the tie-in for the other two that I saw. Um, and then they had then Cardinal Timothy Dolan did um, a nice piece on Pope Benedict the 16th. I thought it was really well done, the way that they televised his little piece on the passing of the Pope. I thought that that was really important in New York. Um, So I have that, and I'll do a compilation of different industry teachers, professors, coach, one, and then a scholar, from a scholar's perspective, and just how a daughter or coexisting whatever is in the field, and how when she glances up at um, their little bits and bytes of information, what it looks like, um, but in its totality of very different walks of life, but the way the message just weaves together for some collective consciousness, since, like I say, like the city, the citadel, or the city has its own psychology. Like, you can feel it, you can see it. It's a culmination. It's been a lot of little pieces adding up to where we are right now. Um, so that's important. I'm trying to think what the other important piece was this morning. I'm going to pause this for a second. Well, one of the pieces I was watching, it had a portrayal. Now I've seen on TV, um, the portrayal of our seated Pope, or in Rome, at the same coexistence that I'm here in this time capsule, and what the seated. I guess it's an appointment. It's not an election. Again, I don't know the right words, so I don't want to trip myself up. But um, and then I see this story that they put on this, and not that it was. I mean, it's like, I don't know if it's like the umbrella of Catholic, and then there's the pieces that, because even this says we believe in one apostolic, and it has Catholic in here. I don't know the exact verbiage, but it's important. Um, and so, on that note, there's an importance, because it said David and Jeremiah on this piece, but the way they were, it's very biscuit, portrayal, but a cumbersome biscuit portrayal of the story of Jesus and Mary, for this area anyway. Um, and it had this word David and Jeremiah mixed together. Now, if I look at words like the word David and the word Jeremiah as if they were mathematical equations of contributing sources, and then putting them together, and then it's the perspective as explained by, and that's the label you put. So this way, if there's a different version, the source can be rooted out and addressed in whoever takes care of that. So, but as far as mentioning the piece, um, there was some interesting words. There was a piece about the portrayal of where Joseph amongst other men, and his perspective of Mary making the announcement, and then the decisions that came thereafter, some judgment from the other men, and then they explain the stories surrounding it. But that's David and Jeremiah. And now, when I look at, I was breaking down the word, and again, it's je, and in the big I am, and then it was REM, and I'm like, no, that's curious. In Alem, Veya Burada. I mean, again, this is new to me. So, and that's here or beyond realm. I don't know. I cannot tell when it's on the TV here. And I look closer than some of the others who won't even put it on the television. They just keep clicking through it. But it is a pattern I'm just watching carefully from the local area, uh, and just making note as I see sections or pixels of presentation, because I know somebody keeps an eye on this stuff. Again, I'm just sampling, I suppose, the environment of what the exposure is at the moment here, and how I don't know if it's changing or if it's always been this way, but at EHEM, I noticed there is an ALEM and then a VEYA into a BURADA. I had to use the translator today on my maxi pad internet of whatever the phone comes with. However that works. And it's got a 5-letter pattern, and this could get whatever. So there's that. So anyhow, so I stayed up to midnight. I went to bed. I got up. I still got to Sunday service, and I still exercised, and it's New Year's. So that's really like the synopsis of like the most important. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York. 13610. Oh, actually, in the sermon today, Mother Lindsay was really nice. She put in something I had never heard about Galatians. That was the second lesson, Galatians. At Galactic, I suppose it shares the gala, the word. And then her sermon was about like when Jesus comes again, and if he walks amongst us, like the people around, like if Jesus goes to school, the other people are not going to know it's Jesus. Some might know, but so she made that point very evident this morning, as far as Jesus, and then mentioning about Yahshua or Joshua, meaning God saves. And that was important piece from the kitchen table with Len when he came to the Glen and gave me a book of Joshua, meaning God saves. And I thought that was important. I kept that to myself, of course. So that was the most important part of going and filling like the heart and the mind with local direction and encouragement. So we were here. There are others that know that we safely made it to church this morning, which is good. Sense of community, I suppose.